Welcome to the Dual Threat Sports Podcast. We're your hosts, Micah Wright and Jaden Lewis. And Jaden, Week 9 in the NFL was a fun one as the 49ers are undefeated still.
Yep, they remain undefeated. Many people were saying that the San Francisco's defense was carrying Jimmy Garoppolo, but Garoppolo, he had a very great day, going 28 for 37, 317 yards and 4 touchdowns. Emmanuel Sanders, the newly acquired receiver for the 49ers, he also had 7 catches for 112 yards. And, of course, George Kittle, 79 yards as well.
Yeah, I think, Kyle Shanahan, this is the year where we really see how great of a coach he is. And, he's still running his offensive system as he's really the offensive coordinator too. And they're starting to put things together. And the defense is phenomenal. I think everyone knows that by now. And they're 8-0, which is crazy. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. And and then let's talk about the Chicago Bears. Another loss. At this point, I mean, you just have to be done with Mitch Trubisky if you're a Bears fan.
Yep, and as painful as it is watching Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes the way they've shined the last 2 years, and this Bears team, with the defense that they have, this is very disappointing. They took Mitchell Trubisky with the number 2 pick, I believe, and I know the fans are regretting it worse than they are with letting go their kickers.
Yeah, and the Raiders have all their picks, which, I mean, I love to see it. Hopefully it's a top 10 pick. Khalil Mack, he's got to be wondering what could have been if he stayed in Oakland. And the Raiders got a big win last night, so that was awesome to see that they're back and winning. But then, Week 9, we saw the Chiefs get a big win with Matt Moore.
Yep, that game, it was a very great game from both sides of the ball. Matt Moore, he 275 yards. And how about Damian Williams, that 91-yard touchdown run where he ran down the field with Tyreek Hill? That was very interesting. But in the end, the Vikings offense, the questionable play calling by Kevin Stefanski cost that one in the end, and Harrison Buckner converted on a 54-yard field goal to win the game.
Yeah, that last drive, I think it was probably less than a minute. They just had incomplete pass after incomplete pass, and the one that they did complete was kind of a backward screen, and the Chiefs were able to get good field position and win it with the field goal. So that was a big win as they're getting Mahomes back this week. And then the Chargers upset the Packers. They think, they might be playoff contenders, and they're still in the hunt, but the Raiders beat them last night. So that's kind of a crazy 4 days change in momentum for their season.
Yep, and also in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, he's looking like the league's MVP now. The way he performed against that New England defense was just one of the best in the league. His 224 yards. And then Mark Ingram also 15 carries, 115 yards as they smoked the Patriots 37-20.
Yeah, that was a great win for the Ravens. All right, so before we get into some college football preview, we have a word from Popeyes. So just when you thought Popeyes couldn't get any better, they introduced their chicken sandwich and spicy chicken sandwich to take their menu to the next level. Popeyes has been serving the nation for nearly 50 years with the nation's best chicken, so go out and try the new chicken sandwich from Popeyes today. All right, so college football week 11, Penn State, who is actually, I think they're 4th in the college football playoff rankings. We see if they're legit. Minnesota, we kind of see how good they are as well as they play head-to-head.
Yeah, Minnesota's a very interesting team. They haven't been ranked this high since 2004 when they had Lawrence Maroney and Marion Barber. They haven't really played a tough schedule yet, but the next few games where they have Iowa, Wisconsin, of course, Penn State, this game's going to be very interesting. Tanner Morgan is a great quarterback. He's completed 65% of his passes for 18 touchdowns and 4 picks. Antoine Winfield Jr. has 5 interceptions on the year, and this game really is going to decide how the Big Ten West is going to go.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's an 11 o'clock game, early game. It might be hard for Penn State to, get amped up for this one. Something about P.J. Fleck in these games, I don't know. I'd kind of lean towards Minnesota in this one, even though they might be less talented, but, they're rolling right now.
Yep. And they just extended him to, I think, a 7-year contract extension, which is crazy.
It's crazy. And then the biggest game of the year, I think this is virtually the national championship of the season, LSU versus Alabama. That's going to be a great one. Joe Burrow against, I think Tua's playing. I think he has to be, that was the plan for them to kind of not really rush him back until this game. So that's going to be by far the best game of the season.
Yep, and we were talking about this one earlier where LSU hasn't beaten Alabama since we were like in fourth grade or something back in 2011, where they won that 9-6 game, but then got blown out in the national championship. And LSU has been shut out in these games 3 times since their last victory over Alabama.
Yeah, I don't think they've scored a touchdown in years against Alabama, which just shows how dominant Nick Saban's crew has been. Yeah, this is by far, I can't say it enough, it's just going to be the best game of the year. I think you make your Saturday plans around this game because if you're a college football fan, you just have to watch it. It's going to be that exciting. We're going to see how real LSU is. They've looked like the best team in the country, which is why they're number 1 in the college football playoff rankings. And then Alabama, we really don't know if they're legit. They've had some struggles, some injuries, so we'll see if they're fully healthy and as dominant as they have been.
Let's just hope that game's not as sloppy as the one in 2011.
Yeah, that one was brutal to watch. I remember, I don't remember if I watched all of it, but I just remember the overtime, the game-winning field goal to win 9-6. That was something that I don't think we'll ever see again in college football, given the scoring is so much better than it used to be. All right, so before we talk NBA, let's talk about Little Caesars Pizza. So in the midst of college football and NFL season, fans need a place to complete their game day experience. So no game day is better than one with Little Caesars Pizza and a 2-liter soda that you can get for free with code FREE2L1. That's FREE2L1 with any order of pizza to perfect your game day experience. All right, so the NBA is back, and we are in that state of the year where all the sports are going on, everything's exciting, and our Los Angeles Lakers are the best team, I'm just going to say, in the league.
Oh, of course, yeah. They had a thrilling comeback victory in Chicago a couple days ago, and now it was at the talk of the year that the Clippers were actually a better team than the Lakers, but LeBron James, he's showing that he is the best player in the road again. He's 30?
He's turning 35 next month.
Yeah, and he's playing like he's just as a freak right now.
I'm confident that MVP, I said I think I picked him to be MVP this year in one of our shows. He's playing like it. He's kind of heard some of the haters, whether it's on social media or on TV, and he's just playing out of his mind, and we know, or actually not even out of his mind. He's just playing like we know how he can play because he's LeBron James. He's the best player in the league, and he's been the best player in the league. And then Anthony Davis as his teammate is just insane to watch, and they're just so dominant. They can both just take over games, which is, I think what everyone thought they would be right now.
Yep, and also staying in the West, it's unfortunate what's happening to the Golden State Warriors, and teams are just enjoying whooping them, and I think they came in like 30th on one of the power rankings. And this team, Steph's out, Klay Thompson's hurt. I think D'Angelo, he was banged up for a little bit.
Steph's out for the year, I saw today, with a broken hand, so that's interesting. I think they're just going to be in tank mode, and they're going to try to get a high lottery pick to try to bring the dynasty back, which, I don't know how that's going to work out. It's just a bad situation for the Warriors right now. And then, so let's talk a little bit about the starts for other teams. So, we know the Bucks are going to be good. The Celtics are 6-1, which I think that's a little surprising. They've won their past 6 games like the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Heat, Jimmy Butler has been playing great for them, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Raptors are still hanging up there, even though Kawhi's, not with them anymore. We talked about the Clippers. They definitely outplayed the Lakers first game of the season, but they've lost a couple games that they probably shouldn't have on paper. But the West is going to be really interesting.
Yep, and then you also have the Mavericks with Porzingis and Doncic. They're always good. You have the Nuggets, and how about Michael Porter Jr., Columbia's own? He's made his debut, and he's doing well. The Jazz are always a team to look out for. And then you also have the Rockets up there. James Harden said he's trying to play every game and forget about load management. And you also want to look out for the Spurs and the Suns as well.
Yeah, and you talk about load management. That's a real problem right now in the NBA. I think it's ridiculous. I just love the old star players. Kobe Bryant, and the older people even say Michael Jordan played 82 games every season. So I think it's bad for the sport. If you have guys, only playing, 3/4 of the games, and I just hate to see it. I hope this year there's less of it, but the Clippers are already doing it, as Kawhi's missed, I think, a game or two already because of it.
Yeah, and it also hurts like the fan support because people want to come to games to see their favorite player play, and if their players are just sitting out, then the fans it's going to hurt the team off the court and on the court. Before we get into some NFL Week 10 predictions, let's talk about the ESPN Fantasy app. With the NBA season underway, it is never too late to join a fantasy basketball league. ESPN has the #1 fantasy app, and all you have to do, if you have Android and Apple, just download the app off the App Store, and from there you can create a league of your own, or even just join a random one. You get to keep up with your players and enjoy live updates of the games. So just download the app and play anytime you want to. And also, with Christmas coming up, Coca-Cola has reintroduced the Sprite Cranberry Soda. Everyone loves the commercials, and they will love the soda too if you just go and buy it.
All right, so Week 10 NFL predictions. We both picked the Raiders, and they won. So we're starting the week strong, 1-0. And Jaden, you have climbed up our records lately. You've caught up to me, I think. You're 71-49-1 for the season, and I'm 73-47-1. So the second half of the season is going to be interesting with these picks.
Go Dolphins.
Yeah. I picked the Dolphins too last week. That was a great win for them. So let's get our primetime music as we make these picks. So Detroit at Chicago. It's going to be cold in the frozen tundra. The Bears somehow come up with a desperate win, 24-20.
I'm not really a big believer in Mitchell Trubisky. The Lions did play good in Oakland. I have them winning 21-18.
And Baltimore at winless Cincinnati. They have to be tanking, right? Or will they get their first win for Zach Taylor, their new head coach? I think Baltimore is going to dominate both sides of the ball, 26-10.
Baltimore played New England, which is perhaps the best defense in the league, and put up 37. I think they'll put up at least 47 on Cincinnati, 47-20.
A 50 burger, maybe. That'd be interesting. Now we go to Cleveland, where the Browns are in dire straits. The Bills are on the opposite side of the spectrum at 6-2, and I think they keep it rolling with their defense, 21-16.
This game's in Cleveland. I think Freddie Kitchens and Baker Mayfield, they all need to step it up, and I have Cleveland coming out with this one with an upset, 23-22.
Then Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes starting on the road in Tennessee against a very good Titans defense. But I got the Chiefs 28-21.
Yep, Patrick Mahomes is back, and that offense hasn't missed a beat even without him. I have the Chiefs rolling in this one, 34-28.
Then, talk about dire straits. The Atlanta Falcons are 1-7 despite all their talent. They kept head coach Dan Quinn. Will he somehow pull up with a victory against New Orleans? I think there's no chance. 34-17.
Matt Ryan is back this week, I think. He's expected to play, but Drew Brees is also back. So I have New Orleans winning this one in the Superdome, 40-20.
And then we have a disgusting matchup between the Giants and Jets, 2-7 versus 1-7. I got the Giants 27-23, but no one really cares.
This one could be ugly or it could be beautiful in the swamps of the New Jersey Meadowlands. I have Daniel Jones winning this one, 28-16.
Then Arizona at Tampa Bay, Bruce Arians' revenge game. I've got him 38-24. How about some Jameis Winston?
I have Jameis Winston and Kyler Murray going at it this week, 27-20, Tampa Bay.
And the Dolphins, can they win 2 in a row against the Colts and Indy? I don't think so. 23-13 Colts.
I think Miami's going to give Indianapolis all they can. They're going to get a good fight, but I have Indianapolis in this one, 20-13.
And Carolina at Green Bay, Packers bounce back from a tough loss, 27-20.
Yep, I have Green Bay winning this one, 28-20. 21.
And then Rams at Pittsburgh, James Conner out. Juju Smith-Schuster might not play. That's why I think the Rams will win 31-19.
Yep, the Pittsburgh did get a clutch win last week, but I have the Rams winning this one 29-22.
Then your Minnesota Vikings at Dallas, prime time. I think they'll pull it out. Kirk Cousins will prove some people wrong. 24-21 Vikings.
But I do not like Kirk Cousins in prime time. I'm not going to talk more about this game. Dallas 23-19.
And then 49ers, I got them 27-22 on Monday night against Seattle.
And I have Seattle upsetting San Francisco, handing them their first loss, 29-23.
All right, so those were our picks for Week 10, and this wraps up our show. We thank you for tuning in to the Dual Threat Sports Podcast. This is Micah Wright and Jaden Lewis.